All right, so solving with square roots, this is going to kind of bring us back to simplifying square roots and I, like we used at the beginning of the unit. Honestly, for the easy ones, you're just going straight for square roots. Take the square root of both sides. The biggest thing that students screw up on, though, is they'll do this, and they get, okay, v equals the square root of 32, and they stop there. What am I missing in front of that square root? Yeah, the plus or minus. Okay. So the other thing is, can I simplify that square root? What can I take out of it? A 16. So 32 is made up of 16 and 2. Square root of 16 is 4. And I'm stuck with that root 2 at the end. Now, some teachers will force you to kind of split those two so that you see that it's two separate answers. I'm okay with you leaving it as plus or minus because that to me says you know that there's actually two solutions there. So for example 2, obviously there's a negative right here. So when I take the square root of both sides, what ends up happening? So it would if I squared both sides. But do you guys remember this monstrosity? The little I that, in my case, always looks like a 2. All right. You can leave the I at the end. I personally put it at the beginning just because that way I'm not thinking it's the square root of I, because that I is not technically under that square root. Yep. Because 47 is, I believe, prime. Yeah. So I can't do much with that. How are we feeling? So far, so good? Okay. So here's a medium one. It is a 10B, yes. Also on your quiz, I've set it so that you can only use the correct variable, so that way you guys don't get it wrong if you type in X instead of whatever letter it gives you. So I have fixed that. All right, so for the medium problems, what do you think my first step's going to be? What did you say, Taylor? Yeah, divide both sides. I want to get b squared completely on its own before I take a square root. Now when I take my square roots of both sides, I've got an I involved. I'll write this up here. So I've got b equals plus or minus I. And then eventually you guys will get pretty good. Like I have square root of 8 memorized as 2 root 2 just because I do it so stinking much. No. On the bigger ones like 32 you can kind of tell like there's a 16 I can pull out. Square root of 8 I know is 2 root 2. When we start getting into the unit circle and stuff like that, like we're going to have root 3 over 3. So eventually those will just start getting memorized and I don't need to see those steps. All right. Now the hard ones when it comes to solving with square roots Does that even seem that bad? Eh, it's just a little bit more setup at the beginning. All right, so do we want to try this on our own? No, not yet. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, biggest mistake I will see any kid make is they'll try to go, oh, 2 minus 8 is 6. That is illegal. We don't do that. Yeah, they're not like terms. My 5th period currently has a conspiracy theory that 2020 stinks because someone divided by 0. I mean, it's possible. And that's why things stink. All right, and then 90 divided by 8. Okay, what is it as a fraction? So you hit math. Ooh, wait, hit second answer. Okay, and then you hit math and frac, that first one. What is it? 45 over 4. It just didn't simplify. Did you guys know you can switch like decimal answers to fractions on your calculator? Okay. Yeah. I hate mixed numbers personally. So I'm left with n squared equals 45 over 4. Square root both sides. So I've got n equals positive or negative square root of 45 over, what's the square root of 4? 2. Well, I got a negative over a negative, so I can leave it as positive. And then can I simplify out that 45? I can take a 9 out. I know. Root 5 over 2. That's about as hard as they get when it comes to solving with square roots until we start solving with completing the square, which is the notes for Thursday, and we said we wanted to do that, yes? Okay, so let me stop this.